I just want to show you a little video about basically about any mod that you wanted to do regarding timing on your saw. I know I've seen some folks use timing lights, or you hear sometimes people just kind of guess, and yeah, I've done it too. But if you want to figure out if you ground on your flywheel or your key and you want to find out what you have, I mean, you just put a timing wheel on it just like you time the engine. And if you can see in this particular example, there is about 3 degrees of advance there. That's about what we got. So pretty simple. This one, high-tech method, just tape it on. I mean, it doesn't even sit flat on this one. It's bumping into here. But you're only moving it a couple degrees. I mean, if you want, you could grind a lot off of the keyway or the inside here. This one I ground on the actual flywheel itself, but you just kind of gauge it and look at it and say, hey, like example, this is 3 degrees, this is nothing. Put it about in the middle. I got 1.5 degrees. So even if you put too much in, you could just kind of guesstimate a bit, and then it allows you to kind of know, like, hey, what did I do? And maybe you find out, maybe you have a saw that wants 15 degrees. I don't know. So it's just an option there. This particular one, because the keyway doesn't go all the way through, makes it kind of difficult. I know some folks do with a file or other things, but I generally just come in, like I get this little pointy Dremel here. You just get right in here like that and grind around 30-40 seconds. Advance done. That's simple. Mufflers on these. Most of them are going to come kind of like this one right here. Now, if you can see in there, you'll see there's these really tiny holes there. That's what actually comes factory. There's probably about, I don't know, 10, a dozen little tiny holes like that. And I actually cut, this is just one of the mods I've done. I go in there with a Dremel and I burr out the hole and do it on both sides. I got one down over here too, but that's one method of doing it. You just leave the existing outlet, and it actually kind of free flows through to some degree, but it's really not bad. It's got a little bit of a cackle, but it's really not loud. You can do as much as grind out as large a hole you want. I did one that was quite large, left the original stock deflector, and then I drilled a hole over here, and I think I cut a piece of 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch conduit on an angle, so it kind of made like its own little baffle here. It looked kind of cool. It come right around. It's just drilled like a, I don't know, 3/8 hole in the side here, so it had a dual outlet. It worked good. I would say that was probably, just doing a muffler mod on these and being able to adjust the carburetor is probably one of your biggest bangs. This is one with a converter in. I think this muffler might have had the converter, and I pulled it out. Oh boy, is it hard on these. I mean, I know you think, oh, just get in there and beat on with a hammer or something. You just beat the muffler all apart, but oh, it's not easy to get them out. So if you so decide you want to do this and you have one with a converter in it, I've had 2 that didn't have converters in them. So, I don't know what to say, but you might want to maybe go online and see if you can find a used one or something, because that's a lot of extra time to do it. This is one that I just did for this particular one, because I was just figured I'd do the Charles Briscoe monster outlet one. So I just totally blocked off the front plate, just made something up, just like this particular thing right here. On this one, I totally removed the, you can see that you can actually, maybe you can, or you can actually see that whole inner ring has actually been removed, the part that would hold the converter. I fired it up on just a stock one. It's quite loud. I don't know how it's going to run yet, but that's just one of the things you could do. That one I went in with a burr and burred some of it out, and then the front, there's a front plate on it that'll actually, it's more of like a cylinder with a bottom on it, and once you burr all the way around, that slug of the end plate will just sit in there. So good luck trying to get it out, because it's quite hard. These mufflers are bare. If you want to braze on them, that's what I did on this. These don't like to braze very well. They're this material of a muffler, it's unpleasant, let's put it that way. But I ended up just going over with the brazing torch, turned the oxygen up a bit, held it with a pair of needle nose, and actually just torched the pieces up just to get them out of the muffler. So just keep that in mind. If you want to do a muffler mod, it might be, your best bet might just be to go to, it's still a little time consuming, but just get in there with a burr and just hollow out a hole like you see there, and just give it a little more breathing room. And if you want, heck, put another hole in it somewhere in the muffler and give it a little more free flow if you want. There's one up at the top, or one up at the top, one at the bottom. Probably the last thing, and I don't know if it helped or not, but like, here's what your stock, you know, air filter. You can see they put that large baffle on there for spit back. Cut it off. I mean, I actually never thought about doing this, and I was watching the Chainsaw Canuck, and he did it. I'm like, well, why didn't I do that? So I just pulled mine off and ground it off, and took it, just beveled it out a bit with, again, with the little Dremel tool, and cut some little slats down in here so I get a little more airflow through. I don't know if it helped or not. Really don't. Like I said, I probably think the biggest benefit I've seen to any modification on these is just opening up the muffler and then adjusting your carb, and that probably made the biggest difference in it. And I personally find these carbs very difficult to adjust on these saws. The limiter on them, and it's very peculiar. They almost seem like they want to run really fat. If you want any torque, now you can get more chain speed out of them if you lean them out. But boy, they just have no guts. But it's a small saw. So anyway, so that's just some of the things I'm doing. Hopefully we'll get this thing wrapped up and put together here soon. Take care.